Hello students, we are taking now this duodenum lecture part 2. In the part 1 we have seen the introduction of the duodenum, parts of duodenum with its relations. We have seen the suspensory ligament of Treves also and the duodenal recess. In this lecture we are going to see the interior of duodenum, blood supply, nerve supply, lymphatic drainage and the applied aspect. We will start our second part of the duodenum lecture. First we will see the interior of the duodenum. This figure shows the interior of duodenum. Interiorly you can see the many circular folds are there called plica circularis. These are plica circularis. They are rare or absent in the first part of duodenum, and they are more in the second part and goes on increasing below the level of major pancreatic duodenal papilla. You can see there is a conical projection called major duodenal papilla on the posteromedial wall of the second part of the duodenum. It is present 8 to 10 cm distal to the pylorus. At the summit of this papilla there is a opening, where opening of the bile duct and the major pancreatic duct is there. Another opening you can see, that is called the minor duodenal papilla, which is lying 6 to 8 cm distal to the pylorus, and here opens the accessory pancreatic duct. You can see one fold, semicircular mucosal fold, that is called plica semicircularis, which is present just above the opening of the major duodenal papilla, and it is fold is like a monk's hood. This is called plica semicircularis. Longitudinal muscular fold, mucosal fold runs from the major pancreatic papilla, duodenal papilla, in the second part of duodenum. This is called the plica longitudinalis. So we covered the interior of duodenum. Now again here in the next figure we can see this is the major duodenal papilla in which open the hepatopancreatic duct. This is again figure showing the opening of the major duodenal papilla in the second part of duodenum, where opens the collective joining of bile duct and the pancreatic duct. Now we will see the blood supply of the duodenum. Duodenum, the first part and the second part up to the bile duct entry develops from the foregut. Rest of the second part and the third part develops, and the fourth part develops from the midgut. That's why upper part of the duodenum is supplied by branches from the celiac artery, which is its axis artery, while distal part is developed from the midgut and it is supplied by its axis artery, superior mesenteric artery. Now this is the gastroduodenal artery, branch of hepatic artery. It gives superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, and this is the inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, branch of the superior mesenteric artery. Superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery gives collectively anterior and posterior branches. These anterior and posterior branches together anastomose to form this arcade, and these gives straight branches called vasa recta to the duodenal wall, and these vasa recta supply anterior and posterior surface of the duodenum. Now the first part of duodenum has additional supply by the supraduodenal artery, branch of the gastroduodenal artery, infraduodenal artery, also the branch of the gastroduodenal artery, and the retroduodenal artery, which is the branch of right gastroepiploic artery. Along with that, also some few branches are there from the hepatic artery and the gastric artery, additionally supply the first part of duodenum. Peculiarity of these branches are, these are the end arteries. That's why they are getting more complicated when there is a peptic ulcer, which is more prone in the first part of the duodenum. This is again shows the same blood supply of the duodenum from the celiac trunk and the superior mesenteric artery through the superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal branches. Venous drainage, that is the veins are draining into the same named veins, that is the pancreatico-duodenal, and ultimately drains into the superior mesenteric vein and the portal vein. Lymphatic drainage of the duodenum is into pancreatico-duodenal group of lymph node, which are present between duodenum and the pancreas groove, and they ultimately drain into the superior pancreatic group of lymph node and the celiac group of lymph node. Now, nerve supply to the, before applied we are going to take the nerve supply. Nerve supply to this is by T6 to T9 spinal segment through sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. These nerves are coming to the supply by superior mesenteric plexus and the celiac plexus. Now we are going to the applied aspect of the duodenum. In the applied aspect, this figure shows this scopy shows duodenal diverticulum. Duodenal diverticulum are present mostly in the second part of the duodenum on the medial wall. As there is a entry points are there of the vessels or the arteries into the wall, at that entry point weakness there is a force are projected outside. These are called the duodenal diverticula. Now in this figure we can see the duodenal cap. The first part of the duodenum, it is having rare or no circular folds. That's why in the barium studies there will be seen the duodenal triangular shadow in the barium studies. This is called the duodenal cap. In this also radiograph we can see the duodenal cap, which is formed by the first part of the duodenum due to the absence of circular fold in the first part. Also, the first part of the duodenum is more prone for the peptic ulcer, as all the gastric contents or the acid contents are directly gets entered into the first part of the duodenum. That's why peptic ulcer is common in the first part of the duodenum. And these ulcer, what will happen if the first part of duodenum posteriorly it is crossed by the gastroduodenal artery, it will get injured and there will be hemorrhage or the bleeding will be there, leads to the complication. Also end arteries supplying this first part of duodenum which also get complication because of this, and ulcer will get also spread to the anteriorly related structures of first part of duodenum, that is liver and the gallbladder. Now as we see there is a referred pain when there is a peptic ulcer is there. It is present in the young individuals, and due to over busy schedule, whenever there is a pain is there, it is in the upper right part of the epigastric region, and this will gets relieved by the meals and reappears when there is an empty stomach is there. Now we can see another applied aspect, that is the stenosis of the duodenum, that is at the entry point of the bile duct. In the second part of duodenum, it gets obstructed due to many reasons, that is the obstruction by the annular pancreas, pressure by the superior mesenteric artery, and the traction of the suspensory muscle. All these leads to stenosis and the obstructive condition. With this applied aspect, we will finish this topic of duodenum part 2. Thank you.